I'd like to take you through our Salesforce Gotransverse connector. Our connector comes in a managed and unmanaged package that we deliver to you for installation into your Salesforce environment. As you see here, it's installed similar to all other packages available from Salesforce, and we provide full implementation and installation documentation. Once it's configured and you do that through the billing setup, you're going to be able to connect to Gotransverse into your specific tenant. To do that, you add the API key that you generated in Gotransverse, as well as the URLs for both the UI and the API. You can see on this screen we can also set up either manual syncs or automatic syncs, and I'll be touching on that later when we go through the panels. You'll see on the next that we set up, what is the field in Gotransverse that connects the two accounts? What marketplace is connected to Salesforce? And we have a video on marketplaces and price lists, but this helps to limit what products are seen for in Salesforce. You'll also see how the order is created either in a draft state or final state. And what's the indicator if we're using change orders in Salesforce, as well as what currencies we're going to expect to use in Salesforce to connect to Gotransverse. Below this, you'll see all the fields that are mapped between what Gotransverse field and what Salesforce field. Some of them are standard Salesforce fields such as account number, and some of them like email. Here is a custom field that we load in as part of the package. So for email and for service addresses, once we're completed, we will finish the implementation by hitting the Finish button. And now it is configured. Let's start by looking at what's synchronized between Gotransverse and Salesforce. I'm in Salesforce right now. In the product screen, you see a number of products. I've got 11 products here. If I look at Gotransverse, you can see I have a number more, which is 24. I could sync all of the products. I could sync some of the products. To sync some of the products, I've set up a marketplace. So you saw that already when I was in our setup, that I've created the agent-assisted marketplace and that has an agent-assisted price list. By looking at that price list, I can see what products get synced over and what price points are on those products. So you can see that it's synced over from a certain date as well as which specific charges and what price points. By moving back into Salesforce, you can see the same product. There are other objects that are synced over between Gotransverse and Salesforce. For example, I'm looking at a customer account. You can see down bottom we have Gotransverse account details. These are all the details that are from Gotransverse being read into Salesforce. I'm going to go down the list here. You'll see the account details, payments, invoices, orders, services, adjustments, payment methods, and contacts. Some of these are like one-way syncs and some are two-way syncs. If we look at two-way syncs such as payment methods, payments, orders, adjustments, contacts, notes, tax exemptions, and payment plans, these can be created in Salesforce and pushed down to Gotransverse, or created in Gotransverse and viewed in Salesforce. There are other objects, specifically invoices, services, and pending charges that generate within Gotransverse, and you see a read-only view, one-way push from Gotransverse to Salesforce. Let's take a look at our Salesforce Gotransverse connector in action. I start in the Prospect to Lead section. By doing that, I create a Salesforce account. I've collected all of the information about the Salesforce account, such as the name, maybe the website, account, site, etc., as well as the billing address. I've also taken this opportunity to fill in the service address. However, if we miss that, we can come back and fix that later. At this point, I'm going to hit Save. And this creates a Salesforce account. This only lives in Salesforce. We'll be able to see that. As we go down the screen, you'll see the note saying this has not been created in Gotransverse. We're going to take this opportunity to start moving this prospect forward. To do that, I'm going to synchronize this into Gotransverse. I do need a few more pieces of information to do that, and I do that by hitting the Configure button. For example, what is his currency? What is his account category? Have we negotiated any payment terms? Which bill cycle is he on? when is he created? And I can backdate this creation. I'm going to backdate this to the beginning of July. So I've got some run room for bills. Is he tax exempt? How am I going to distribute the invoice, and do I have a good email address for him? Once I save that, I can now synchronize this, and I synchronize this by hitting the Create Account button. It's communicating to Gotransverse and creating the account. If I now take a look at the details, one of the things you'll see is this Force page is starting to populate. You can see I've assigned a Gotransverse account number, as well as all the other information. He doesn't have a balance yet because we haven't created any services. Let's take a look at that in Gotransverse by going to the customers. And then I'm going to refresh my screen, and you're going to see here's my new customer. When I click on this, you'll see a couple things. First, all the information that I've collected in Salesforce. But most importantly, you'll see that we've connected between the two systems by using the Salesforce ID into Gotransverse as the external account number. Let's take a look at our Salesforce Gotransverse connector in action. Now that my account is created, we're going to create an opportunity. We follow the same Salesforce flow for that, and we'll start with a new opportunity. This opportunity has a name. We're calling it GT Opportunity 1, and we're going to have it close on the 1st of July. We're going to move along the process to a closed won state and save this. At this point, we're going to review the opportunity and start adding products. When I hit the Add Product button, you're going to see the catalog that we discussed earlier that's synchronized from Gotransverse, and I'll select some of the products off that list. I can choose the list of available recurrences based on what I've set up in my marketplace and price list. I'm going to select that. I'll select a monthly fiber product that. And that'll be enough. You see them on the right here. At this point, I need to configure the products. We're going to start with our configure, and at this point, we can go through and set up using the gear to say that this has a parent service. And this parent service is the streaming TV. Same for the HBO and the streaming TV as a parent service. So I've got a two-level hierarchy. There may be some agreements we want to set up. There may be some discounts we want to set up. We may also want to override a price. So for example, we see that the fiber service has a one-time price of 0. We could override that and have a fee of $10 for installation. At this point, we'll save it and close it. And we'll create our order in Gotransverse. Let's take a look quickly at the order. Here's the order. It's now completed and it has instantiated the services. At this point, everything else runs as normal within Gotransverse. Any bills that occur, any payments that occur, any adjustments, any other things that happen will automatically be synchronized back. For example, these instantiated services. If I go back to the account into the details screen and go down to our GT account details section, you'll see a section on services. You see that I have my fiber service. If I expand that, you could see my streaming TV, and if I expand that, you could see my 2 streaming services. Any other things that happen, invoices, payments, or the like will show up here. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions or would like to see a further demo, please contact one of the Gotransverse team.